This was when we first started going to the Orient and all. We had never been east, and we. I, I have it's all written down here of the things that we did and how we did them and all like that, and even to the things that when we got to these foreign countries, even to the things we ate. This was April 1978. That's when we did we did these. This was April, even April 28th of 1978. We left Sayville and drove into Kennedy Airport with our neighbor. He took us in because he worked at the Kennedy Airport. So he said, I'll take you there. So that he drove us in that day. And we flew then. We get onto the air, in the air, and we went to Seattle, Washington. We had to change planes in Seattle, but we had to get from New York to Seattle. And we got there at 3:15, and which was 12:15 Washington time. 4 hours difference. And we took a little subway. There was a little subway around the airport of Seattle, and we went there. And I wrote that down here. I said, we ate all day long. I'll tell you how it comes out. We get coffee and buns at the airport, coffee and buns and juice on the plane, lunch. And I had what we had for lunch. The meal was with champagne. Dinner was a complete chicken dinner, and then juice after, and then brunch, and then what we had for lunch, a roll with beef and potato salad. But we kept getting food all the time. And that was so then we got to Washington, the state of Washington. And then we got to let's see, the Grand Hotel was a first class hotel. This had to be a tour, you see, because we were going to the International Convention of Rotary, which eventually we'll get to. We got to Tokyo. We had to fly from Washington to Tokyo. And we flew all the time. The entire flight was in daylight, sunlight, because we were flying east. So we were getting earlier and earlier. It was 9 hours of flying from Seattle, Washington. 9 hours flying from Seattle. If we had gone all from New York to it would have been a 14-hour trip. That's why we couldn't do it all in one. And we had no problem at all with immigration to get through. And there was I wrote down here, the flight attendant said, we all look alike. To us, to the Americans, we all felt the Japanese looked alike. And when we got to Tokyo, we found out that the pilots on the flight we were on were going on strike. So we didn't know what we'd be doing about getting back home again. And while we were doing all this flying, all these 9 hours flying, we crossed the international date line. So we lost a day. We were very mixed up as far as time was concerned. What was morning? What was night? What day was it? That was very interesting. Immigration was no problem at all. And I wrote down here, everything when we got to Japan was so clean and neat. And the bus and the windows and the roads and the cars, everything was so neat and clean. And we got to the Ginza, which is the main attraction there, street in Tokyo. And it was beautiful with all the lights. We were in a great first-class hotel, and they had a set menu for us for dinner. But it seems like we were going. It seems like we were flying and eating all the time that first day. Well, Wendy, got to Japan through the school. She went over representing the United States and so forth, and she had quite a trip that she had. That was all paid. The schools paid for it. Her school let her go and paid her salary and everything, and paid everything. So she got over to Japan for. She could tell you quite a few stories too.